Okay, I believe I am live. Do we have anybody out there? Hmm, Nobody there yet? Okay. So give it a few more minutes. Oh, there's somebody. Hello, Jordan. Nice to have you here. How's my sound? Is it all good? It's the first time I've ever done in a live stream, so expect technical difficulties. Alright, see here. Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Connie. I guess I'll get into it then. Let's see. Sure. I'll be talking about first off, I'll be getting into fake seed companies and fake seed sites. Let's see if this works. Okay, there we go. It's working. All right, here we have one of those. This is a fake seed company. It's called USA Garden Center. Sounds like a real company, doesn't it? And they have better than soil. They're picturing a have a picture of here of soil. You click on that, and it takes us to their product page. And right off the bat, you can see they have some questionable stuff here. Uh, we can scroll down. Yeah, one of the things you can look out for on these fake seed sites is if they have something that isn't sold as a seed. Potato seeds aren't really sold as seeds. They're sold. You get seed potatoes. This was what you'd be buying. You're not going to get potato seeds. Uh, Very obvious Photoshop color on these tomatoes and the rainbow tomato here. And we have, of course, the infamous blue strawberry. Hurry before they're gone. I question if you actually get anything buying from this site, honestly. They have some product descriptions. Product type bonsai. That should be a warning sign right there, because bonsai is an art form in Japan for cutting small plants. Some bonsai techniques might be useful for, growing fruit trees and the like, like in small in containers, but yeah, that's nothing. Uh, Size, that's not telling you anything. Climate, temperate. It's more of a warm climate, I guess. Classification, happy farm. What? Model number, model number. Well, like we can get into that a little bit. Uh, Full bloom period, winter. Yeah, this isn't really anything. Variety strawberry. Just to compare here to a real site, we have Baker's Creek here. This is a real site. These are real tomatoes. In fact, I've got these growing in my backyard right now. And you'll notice some differences with the descriptions here. They give you more specific information, and you'll get a more technical name on them right here. That's something to look for on any fake seed site. If they don't give you that more technical name for the plant, it's probably fake. As for the blue strawberries themselves, We have Snopes here that actually has an image of something talking about how scientists have come up with a blue strawberry by splicing them in with fish genes. And they mentioned something rather interesting here that, that they did attempt to create a GMO using Arctic flounder in strawberries, though it doesn't result in blue strawberries. So this may be where the infamous blue strawberry came from. Something else to look out for when you're buying seeds, I recommend avoiding buying from Amazon, Etsy, eBay, unless you are absolutely certain of the, the person's providing the source. But they have a lot of scams, like again the blue strawberry. And my gardener actually had something on this. Let's see, is this? No, it's the wrong one. He actually bought one of these blue strawberry seed packs from the Amazon site, and this is what he received. Those are clearly not blue strawberry or strawberry seeds at all. I have no idea what those are. Uh, in his video, he pointed out uh, these could be actually dangerous to even try and plant because they could have been grown in herbicides. You don't know what kind of diseases they could have. Though I gotta say, I would be very curious to try and plant them and find out what exactly they're actually selling you. I'd probably want to put it into some kind of isolated system and grow them that way, and then destroy the plants and dispose of everything afterwards, just to be on the safe side so it doesn't contaminate my garden. As for these websites, uh, again, I would say I wouldn't trust buying from any of them. Because chances are you're probably not going to get anything other than your card information stolen. Oh, look at that. They're selling flower pots, which you can buy at the Dollar Tree for $1 at a heavily inflated price. That's true. Or it could be an illegal type of seed. At least it's illegal here in Florida. Oh, I forgot to put the screen back on. All right. Yeah, you have the flower pots there that you can buy from Dollar Tree. In fact, I bought some of these from the Dollar Tree not that long ago for an upcoming video. This is another website, Best Seeds Online, and they have another one, Buying Seed. I'm pretty sure these are both by the same person because I looked uh, up all these sites on Whois. Now it doesn't give you the name of the person who owns the websites, but they did give you the company that they're being hosted from, and both Buying Seed and Best Seeds are both by the same company. And interestingly enough, the U.S. Garden Center is actually hosted by a Canadian company. So these people probably aren't even in the U.S. Oh, there's another good example. You have the rainbow strawberries. Square watermelons. Now, this might actually be the only real fruit they have on this site, though you're not going to be growing square watermelon from square watermelon seeds. This is from a mold. Scroll down. Oh, here's a good example of a fake. Insect catching succulent enchantress carnivorous is bonsai seeds, huh? Yeah. Again, with the bonsai thing. And again, product type bonsai, a blooming plant, yada yada. You can see how it differs from an actual website. And yeah, you're not going to be growing these. I can guarantee you that the Venus fire trap from Super Mario Brothers 3 does not exist in real life. In fact, it looks like, yeah, there's watermarks on this one, and from wherever they pulled the image. I imagine these sites are probably targeting very newbie gardeners who might not really realize this is that these are scams. And so right off the bat, they might just think, "Oh, these are just super exotic plants." So, subsequent to what you're looking at here, if you happen to ever grow something that looks like this and it starts talking to you, don't feed it. It might end up eating Cleveland and Des Moines. I have no idea if any of the actual products that they have other than the seeds would actually be sold to you. I imagine it's probably a bunch of cheap junk if you do get anything, such as those flower pots. Next thing up on the list. Get this next thing ready. Close that out. Fake websites aren't the only thing to look out for. There's also quite a number of fake propagation videos out there. I just needed something cheap and standardized for something I'm doing for a later video. They're not going to be really worth of anything. They're very flimsy. I suppose they might make good starter pots, but other than that, I really wouldn't use them for anything else. Here we starts with green banana in this one, showing us cuts the tip off the banana to, I guess, expose the thing to be able to suck up water and whatnot. Skip past this. So, it shows us the thing. Next, we have the magic. Yeah, looks like to be some kind of compost tea with, I'm not really sure what's in there. So he pours the compost tea in some glass and puts the banana in it for whatever. And we wait 10 minutes after putting the banana in there. Okay, all right. Next, we take it out. Look at that. Look, it stained it slightly. Okay. And now we rub aloe on it because that's I guess where the magic comes from. All right, got it all covered in aloe. Now, early on, I have tried propagating things in aloe, and well, it didn't work too well. Though I did find the aloe did break down and pretty well into a fairly rich soil all around in the spot. So that might be something for a compost. All right, so he gets it all gooed up. And we have what looks like just regular sandy soil from the yard. And he's going to plant that in there. I think you can see a problem right now because the banana is basically a infertile seed pod. So how are you going to get anything in growing from that? And usually you have suckers coming off the root ball of the plant. Okay, so he pours the rest of the compost tea in there, which this is very dry soil, so this would need to be wet a lot more for this to get down into where he planted at the bottom of that to make that banana. Waters it a little bit, okay. I do like using these watering bottles like this, poking holes in them. They do work pretty good as mini water cans. Water, yeah. Yeah, that all of that water is still going to be sitting right on the surface of that pot. That's not getting down anywhere without fully watering this thing thoroughly. So I'm not sure what that's going to accomplish. Yeah, puts a greenhouse effect on there. Covering it might cause it to ripen pretty well, seeing as you'd be trapping the ethylene gases from the banana. And we wait 10 days. Okay. So what do we look like after 10 days? It's still green. Yeah, I don't think 10 days have passed here. Yeah. Yeah, that definitely is not 10 days worth of time on that banana. It looks like exactly the same as it did when you first put that thing in there. Though we do see a little bit of a plant growing right there, so that does show it could have been something's happened. I just find that really weird that the banana doesn't seem to have changed any. So this was probably just regular soil from the yard. Okay, waters it some more for. That's still being very hydrophobic. He pulls the banana up. We find roots. Now, how do we have roots on that? Cleans the roots off. Okay, right here. This is something to look for. This is how he's faked it. You can see those little brown spots there. There's a close-up of what he's got. Yeah, these are sprouts they probably bought at the store. These are just bean sprouts. You can see the bean right there. I got marked right there, and you see how the dirt is around the base of it. That's probably because he planted it while it was still a little bit sticky. So that's probably all glue right there that you see with the dirt just above it. That's basically how they pull these fakes off. So he repots it in, again, very dry soil. This looks a little bit better soil than what he was using. Though having good draining soil is good for a banana, though this is all faked. You do want good rich soil for a banana too if you're going to get to grow it too. I usually like to do a chop and drop method on my bananas, is to help just compost in place, fertilize it, whatnot. Watering it in, pretending like it's going to do something. 15 days later, and we have, well, this isn't even the same banana. This is actually one he had from beginning of the video, which I didn't even cover. That's that. Yeah, they're propagated from pups, basically. And I'm making a newbie mistake here by commenting on things without showing it. Yeah, bananas are usually propagated from pups. You'll see a lot of small bananas growing up around your main one. If you can go in, you actually want to go in and remove those pups because they act as suckers. Then you can actually take them and replant them somewhere else. Usually, the really small ones won't do too well for producing fruit, but I'd leave like maybe one or two growing. So once your main one produces fruit and dies, you'll have another one growing in its place. I probably should take this off the screen now since I'm done with that. And well, I actually went through everything I was going to cover quicker than I expected. So I guess I'll open things up here. If anybody wants to come in for a little bit, we can chat. Yes. Yes, everything I just showed was all fake, except for just a contrast that's with a real little seed company. If anyone wants to come in here, you can pop in. If you have any garden and websites of your own, you can show them. Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you. Hopefully, I can do better next time. Let's see what else we got here. Yep. Hey, can't expect to hit out of the park the first time, can I? uh, well, I guess while I'm killing time, seeing if anyone wants to come in and say hi. Pin that message. The horrible thing is that fake videos and it's really hard and the new gardeners and potentially make them. Yes, that's true. Yeah. There's another one, and I think it was actually by the same person I was just showcasing, and who tried to do a fake video and propagating hibiscus from leaves. I'm thinking about doing a video on that one since I actually have a hibiscus this plant exactly like what they used in the video, and showcase how it doesn't work and how they actually pulled it off. Yeah, hello, Skitscrusher. So, thank you. Still I'm waiting here, see if anyone wants to come in. I was a bit curious as to why we grow cotton as an annual. Well, I really wasn't quite sure why. I looked into it, and there's apparently two reasons why it's done. And first of all, well, what I've noticed was first of all, when they're growing it further up north, it just doesn't grow as a perennial up north because of the temperature. Though it's grown quite a bit in Florida, which you should have a good enough climate to be able to grow it as a perennial, but it's still grown as an annual commercially. Apparently, the second reason for for that is after you've harvested off of the plant once, it produces a lower yield next time around. So to keep a high yield, they simply harvest it once, remove the plant, then replant it, which can be a somewhat damaging process of growing it, seeing as it requires quite a bit of nitrogen to grow. Probably a better method of growing it would, if you're doing it for your own garden, it would be to grow it as a perennial if you can, and plant nitrogen fixing plants around it, and work that back into the soil. If you're going to be using something like beans for nitrogen fixing, you want to work the beans back into the soil before they start to produce bean pods, because all that nitrogen is going to go into their bean pod. And interestingly enough, it's not so much that the plant is taking up nitrogen from the air, but it's rather a result of certain bacteria that are accumulated around on the roots of these plants, and so uh, result in nitrogen fixing in process. So, have any questions here? Just while I'm waiting, I'll mention that my next video I'll be doing is going to be on aphids. I had a bit of an aphid problem with my Ethiopian kale. Uh, so I'll be covering how I took care of that. I actually haven't gotten much started for spring just yet. Usually the spring hits more in the middle of next month. So I actually do want to get some stuff started. I've been clearing some space out, but I plan to grow several varieties of tomatoes. And even though I'm a little late to getting it started, I want to try and grow some chard. And once I clear up my radishes, I'll probably be planting some uh, marigolds in their place, and maybe a few other things. May even try some watermelon. I've got some area cleared out for that. I'm in Zone 10A in Central Florida, though I'm right on the edge of Zone 9B. So I basically can grow year round, really. Yes. In fact, that maybe actually be one of the problems I had with it. I usually actually plant a red Russian kale along with the stuff I didn't plant this year. And by this time of year, the red Russian kale is stressed and would actually serve as a trap crop for things like aphids. Though since I didn't plant any this year, they just went after the next best thing, I guess. So that's one way of controlling any pests is to plant something that they'll like more, to go after. And with aphids, just a little sneak peek. eh, One way of best way of to deal with them is to just spray them off with water. All right. Yeah, 6 8. Started some peppers. Nice onions. Yeah, I do struggle with a little bit with growing onions here. I have to pick more heat tolerant varieties. One that I did try was Egyptian walking onion. Unfortunately, it turns out, hey, we got a stool. Unfortunately, it turns out my environment may be a bit too humid for the Egyptian walking onion in the bulb. Because what it's supposed to do is send up a shoot and actually bulbs from the top. Then once that bulb forms, it bends over or walks, and then plants the bulb next door or to it. Yes, I'm streaming. But seeing as that didn't work out too well, I want to try another type of onion that I found out from Self-Sufficient Me covered it recently. I'll put this up. Uh, the Chinese onion or Racchio. I'm not really sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Apparently, this is a very heat-tolerant variety of onion and can grow in my area much better. Er, So this is something I want to try next if I can find it. Apparently, medicinally, it's been used in folk medicine as a tonic for intestine and stomach aches. Uh, yeah, I kind of doubt that. It was produced from very nice looking flowers, though. Uh, my favorite thing, I have several favorite things to grow. Uh, well, my favorite flower is, of course, the marigolds. They're very easy to grow. I actually would recommend them as for beginner gardeners. They grow in a fairly wide range. Uh, of course, again, I got into who you want to grow for variety. He's in your area to handle. Uh, I like the Egyptian or the Ethiopian kale. Wasn't become quite a favorite of mine to grow for the winter and fall crop. I can get uh, three different flavor profiles out of the Ethiopian kale. It's heat tolerant, so it doesn't become bitter once it gets hot. It actually gets more of a mustard flavor, which is quite interesting. And I do enjoy growing tomatoes. They're very simple for me to grow, and I found, especially since I found taking cuttings from them, I mean rooting the cutting things to keep to keep propagating them, and works pretty well too. So I'm inundated with cuttings of tomatoes right now, and I plan to grow more different varieties. I'll be planting them all over my garden. And one I would really like to get into my garden is the tangerine. In fact, that was my single seed challenge. Oh, what's wrong with tomatoes? One I have quite a bit growing is the Everglade tomato. It's reportedly a native to Florida, though it's a bit questionable. Of course, it gets apparently gets its name from growing in the Everglades. It may have actually originated somewhere else. I think what I looked up was maybe possibly Peru is the actual origin of the tomato. Well, if you can grow some, go for it. I imagine you want something a little bit more cold hardy for your area. And since I mentioned cold hardy, the Black Beauty tomato is actually a more cold hardy variety. That's the reason actually why I'm growing it during my winter. It was a little experiment I did last year for growing tomatoes. I wanted to see how more cold hardy variety would do in my Florida winter. and I have to use winter with quotation marks with that. Yeah, microwiper. Hello. Hmm. Well, if you do, like I said, if you do manage to get the any tomatoes growing, the suckers that come off the tomato are a good way to keep the tomato propagated for longer. So basically, what you'd have is a stem, and you have your leaf stemming off of that, and you'll see little leaves starting to pop up between the main stem and your leaf. And that's your sucker. If you let that grow out for, I'd say maybe 3-4 inches long, then remove it. Just put in some water. You can put it right into some soil. We'll keep it wet. They'll root, and you'll have a whole new plant. It's a good way if you're keeping your favorite tomatoes going year round. And if you have problems with colder weather, you can bring it indoors and keep them going that way too. Of course, you'd want to keep removing these suckers and replanting them as you go. Seeing as the original thing you grew at the start out of your fall probably isn't going to survive all the way into winter. But it's a good way of getting a head start on your tomatoes that way. And the place is still open for anyone who wants to come in here and chit chat. So you don't have to listen to me come up with random topics to ramble on about. Ah, good question. I I've been kind of off and on gardening just about my entire life. My dad actually started it with small gardens on the side of the house, and I just kind of helped out as as much as a toddler can help out within a garden. Later on in high school, I was actually in a horticulture class, which is about the only formal training I've had in gardening. They had a really nice greenhouse set up. I spent most of my time in that, and we each and everybody in the class had their own little small plot to grow whatever we wanted in. After high school, well, I had my own garden and set up, which was a much larger version of what I had in high school. I grew in there, though I set it aside for a number of years, and after 3 hurricanes in a row, I had trouble growing again. And in that plot, uh, the soil became bad, and I think something happened after the hurricanes that messed with the soil conditions. Well, and then I did that off and on again, and I experimented with trying to grow for an entire year, which I'd never done before. I always took breaks. Ex- especially being in school, you're not in school for 3 months out of the year here, so that was a break from gardening there. But in 2020, he, I noticed all the shortages on the shelves, and we didn't have a supply chain break at the time. And I got thinking, what happens if we have another crisis, just like what we had there, but with a supply chain break? That could be pretty devastating for food. So I started actually researching into edible weeds. And while I was looking around for edible weeds, I came across this one plot that was just sitting off in the corner of my yard, and it was growing cherry tomatoes. I don't know where the cherry tomatoes came from, but there they were, and that's what started me off in starting a garden. which is what I'm running now. I took some of the seeds from those cherry tomatoes and I grew them. I used the money I had from the stimulus checks, thanks from COVID, and I got much supplies, as many supplies as I could for that. And that's why I got my garden going now. Yes, they can bring salt water in. I think that may have been what what caused the problem with the soil at the time, and when I was trying to grow, because we got hit by like four hurricanes in a row, one year, and then when I tried to grow, after that, everything was just dying. Fix for that, what I did was actually bought bags of dirt. I just cut the bags open, kind of one way, down the other. Opened the bags up, and I just grew right in the soil with the bag laying on the ground. That worked okay, though. Of course, you can't grow anything with really deep roots since you have the bottom of the bag covering things. Uh, Once in fact, I had when I was younger, I actually had fish falling from the sky. There were the street flooded, and there were actually fish swimming around and on the street. And my dad grabbed a couple of the fish, threw them in the bathtub, and they jumped out and were flopping around in the bathroom. That's how. Though some rainwater can actually be pretty useful, well, for your garden, seeing as it tends to have higher nitrogen in rates in a form that's bioavailable to the plants. It's immediately. And thunderstorms will actually give you higher levels of these nitrates. It's in the rainwater because the electricity, the electrical storms will break down on the bonds, and it's allowing it to become more bioavailable. So, and yeah, if anyone wants to come in, you can come in and say hi. There's the link on the top here. See if I can find. Ah, okay. Nobody comes in, I'll start talking about tomatoes again. Let's give you an idea. That's the tomato sucker right there. You have two branches. That's your leaf branch. The smaller branch there is your leaf branch. The thicker one is probably your main branch, and then you have the sucker growing in between. You let that grow, I'd say about 3-4 inches. Break it off, and you can replant that, and you have basically a whole new plant. No. So Any more questions, or you want to come in and say hi? Do do anything? All right. Ah, one of the types of tomatoes I plan to propagate are the spoon tomatoes. I received the package from Baker's Creek as a free seed sample from them, and they're itty bitty tomatoes. Yeah, I guess so. But you gotta have comments and stuff to ramble on about, don't I? Uh, Here's one of the types of tomatoes I'll be growing or plan to grow. The spoon tomatoes. They're little tiny itty bitty tomatoes. I don't know how they are. I've never grown this variety before, so it'd be interesting to find out. Planting space, 24 inches. That's actually one thing you need to keep in mind. And when you're planting in a small area, uh, you actually want to half the number that you see on the seed package, because it's actually the planting space from the center of the plant. So, for instance, with our 24-inch space here, you'd actually be looking at 12 inches between each plant, since it's 24 inches from the center of the plant to the next one. It allows you to plant a much denser, you're much denser that way. Uh, Another tomato I want to try and grow again is the Ildi tomato. I actually bought mine from Totally Tomatoes, and I've gotten some nice magazines from them. Um, so it's been a pretty nice site. Unfortunately, right now they seem to be under maintenance. I tried growing these last year, and I didn't really have any luck getting them. I just kind of ran into some problems, but I'm gonna give them another try. Just have a good variety of different tomatoes to grow. Again, they're a very small tomato for any Florida growing. And you usually want to go with smaller varieties because they grow faster. And I like to usually grow indeterminate tomatoes rather than determinate ones. The difference is the determinate tomatoes will produce all their fruit all at once, whereas the indeterminates will just keep producing fruit throughout the year. Your determinate tomatoes are probably your best bet if you want to do something like a sauce, because you'll get all your fruit all at once that way. basically you'll have more fruit at one time. But you can get away with creating a sauce by simply freezing the tomatoes, storing them away that way until you're ready to use them. Seeing as I don't see I have any, give a few more minutes here. If nobody wants to come in, I'll wrap things up here. At the top of the hour. So, any other questions before before I shut things down here? Anything? Thank you. I'll try to come up with more material for next time, so I'm actually a bit more prepared. I was expecting to go over those fakes a little bit longer. So, and I hope everybody can spot a fake a little bit better. These they have quite a few of them. Those propagation videos are all over the place, and they get a lot of views. So they can look pretty convincing to a novice coming in. It's one of those problems we apparently have with YouTube, allowing these fake videos to be all over the place. After the websites, I imagine they might be able to be reported to the Federal Business Bureau of Investigations for being scams. And so, I don't know. So one more minute of time here, or unless somebody pops in. I guess nobody's showing up. All right. Well, thank you for stopping by. I'm glad somebody showed up. And well, guess I'll try this again in some time, and with a little bit more material to cover. Oh, got somebody in. Okay. Nice timing. I was just about to hit the button. Hello.
Hi there. We need to. There we go. My computer finally caught up. What's going on?
Hey. I was just covering some fake websites and fake propagation videos for the start of this, and I was just rambling to kill time for the next 30 minutes because that took a lot. That was a lot quicker than I expected it to go.
Well, yeah, sorry we missed most of it, but Alex has been painting and I've been struggling to stay awake. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, I probably won't participate a whole lot. I'm just sitting here because it's a really big painting,
Yeah.
So this is like the only place I can comfortably do this. So I might just chat here and there, but for the most part, it's this thing that's doing it.
Okay.
Rude.
The one with the face fur. All right.
So hopefully it went pretty well.
No,
I didn't get to watch, but
I got some positive comments here in the side chat, so I'm guessing it went well.
that's good. It's always a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't really do so much gardening. I try, but everything I try to grow dies.
We just sold all of our plants the other day because they were all starting to die.
Yeah. It's not great.
Yeah, during Christmas I tried to send you a light for growing, but apparently they couldn't find you and they sent it back.
Oh.
I love that.
Our address sometimes shows up as like an invalid address. It's very fun.
Yeah. No idea why it happens, but on the plus side, I have a puppy here who is demanding attention.
Oh, it's Lucy Poo.
I've been toying around with maybe getting a dog. Something small. Maybe a small breed terrier or something.
Well, I'm a crazy animal person, so I will always tell you that one dog is not enough.
Oh yeah, I've never been my entire life. I've never been without a pet. So,
except for recently, I'm guessing.
Oh no, I have some pets. I've got my son Kanye. I've got the chickens. So. And my chickens are.
Man.
In fact,
yeah,
I actually
if
started.
There's something I do like. It's. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, in fact, the chickens are sort of apparently a little mascot I've got going for the channel.
Well, I mean, you gotta have some animal to attract people. I mean, I'd be lying if I didn't. If I said I didn't use the cats and the dogs in my video.
Yeah, that's the reason why. That's the reason why I like to. Yeah, this is the reason why I like to end my videos with a little short 10-second clip of some animal or whatnot. Usually.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
I mean, there is a reason why my pet channel does better than all my other channels.
Yeah. People love them some animals.
Yeah.
Okay, Lucy. Yeah, it's right, little Missy Pooh.
And every garden should have a garden pet. I'm a firm believer on that one.
Yeah, the pets my mom always had in her garden were like squirrels and rabbits, so she didn't much care for them. They ate all the plants.
You can share.
Yeah. In fact, you want
greedy little things.
Yeah, in fact, one way to mitigate that is to grow plants just for them.
That's what we did in our garden. We, growing up, had the largest garden in town, obviously, aside from the farms, because I come from a farm town. But we had the largest garden, and then we had like a few tires of like strawberries and stuff that weren't gated off for the rabbits.
Yeah, that's an excellent way of going about it. You gate off because the rabbit isn't going to be able to actually jump that high. So a few, you go a couple feet up, you're fine. Yeah. The big thing is that they'll dig.
Yeah, they're little cuties.
But if you put something outside that they like away from what you want them to stay away from, and make it easier to get to that, they're gonna go for that.
Yeah.
No, they don't gotta work as hard.
Yeah.
Lazy little shits.
Yeah. And speaking about the poop from them, and that makes great garden fertilizer. You can use that directly too. Unlike chicken poop, which you really need to compost because it's a very hot compost or very hot material. It can burn your plants. The only thing I've found that it won't really burn is sweet potatoes or other acid-loving plants.
Yeah.
I imagine it probably work pretty good with blueberries as well. Though you also run into the problem of the bacteria and stuff in the poop. You want to break that down. that could be a problem.
Yeah, chances are my mom hasn't been that into gardening lately, so she just kind of sticks to store-bought fertilizer, which I don't know how good that is, but
it's not as good as making your own. But if you don't have the time and energy or know-how,
yeah, if you need to buy it, I have no problem with buying the stuff. The stuff I usually like to get is the Jungle Grow. It's very cheap and seems to work pretty good as the all-purpose variety.
Well, I figure we may as well contribute some animals to this live stream.
Yeah.
Camera to cooperate. Hi, Lucy. Say hello.
And then there's shithead in the background.
Let's see if I can. How do I bring you guys up to solo? There we are.
This one's Poopy. The black lab mix is Poop. Well, her name's Lucy, but we call her Poop.
Okay.
Yeah. Alex used to be capable of saying pooch as a child, so
Poopy's stuck.
Yeah.
Much to Lucy's dismay.
And their grandpa's amusement.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was learning all of this on the fly, basically. I watched a tutorial video a couple of times during the week, and then I actually had it running while I was trying to figure out how to set all this up today.
I still don't know how to set up live streams, and I've been doing YouTube since I was 12. I'm 20 now, so what would that be? 8 years?
Something like that.
Yeah, and I still don't know how to set up live streams. Someone does it for me.
Well, going through the StreamYard wasn't that hard.
No, it takes a lot of the guesswork out.
Yeah.
Doesn't it, Lucy?
I plan to maybe eventually switch to OBS as a means of doing this. But yeah, StreamYard seems to be pretty decent. There's just a few drawbacks to it.
Yeah, like the giant powered by StreamYard duck in the corner.
Yeah, which I have to pay to get rid of.
Yeah. OBS, I have no earthly idea how to do OBS, so I would be useless to that endeavor. But if you ever talk to like Mikey Famine, might be able to set you up, because I'm pretty sure they use OBS, like in tandem with StreamYard. Probably. I honestly don't know what Neil uses now. But yeah. Yeah, talk to some people. I'm sure there are plenty of people happy to give you pointers.
Yeah, well, baby steps.
Oh yeah. Like start off with StreamYard. I mean, I'm still using it. However long StreamYard's been a thing. I think funny. Like it could be misremembering, but I've been using it. It's really user friendly, so I'm okay sticking.
I figure I'd start with the simplest thing and get myself into it. That way, if I screw up colossally, well.
Yeah, I mean it's simple fix, which is always a good thing. Right, Lucy? Do you want to be on the screen?
The entire world needs to see her prettiness.
That means up he goes the puppy.
Is she hacking?
Kinda. Now, whenever Lucy does dog complaining, we call it hecking.
One of her nicknames is Hecker because she does it so often.
Yep. All right, Lucy. That's okay. We're just poking fun.
And then most of Tier's nicknames are asshole, shithead, dumbass. Sorry for cussing a lot, but that's most of his nicknames.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got his moments.
He is really dumb. I love him to death. But I thought Huskies were supposed to be intelligent.
I guess that doesn't apply to all Huskies.
At the very least, this one's not the sharpest tool in the shed.
Yeah, I got him to be a service animal because my papa had a husky as a service animal when I was a kid, and I remember it working really well. They can be stubborn sometimes, but once you are able to train them, like they make very good service animals. And then this one can't even go out in public.
Nope. Totally untrustworthy.
So he's pretty much a stay-at-home service animal because of that.
Yeah,
I like huskies.
He's all about making friends.
Yeah, and I can't get him to not jump on people.
Yeah.
No matter what I do, no matter how many trainers I take him to, he jumps on people. Now imagine if I take him out to like Target or something and he jumps on a child.
Ah, yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Hard pass on that one.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
I can't get him to stop doing it. That's our main issue is the jumping.
Hmm.
But at least he knows he's a dummy.
Maybe some treat reward kind of thing.
I try that. Huskies aren't very food motivated. Like that makes it very difficult to train them. That's part of the reason it's hard. It's quite irritating. If he was food motivated, like Lucy made an amazing service animal because she was food motivated. But him, can't get him to do anything.
Well,
Not even toy motivated, huh?
Sometimes toys work, but not for the bigger asks. You know, like for simple sit, stay, toys will work. But if I want him to like alert me to blood sugar or something, I just can't get him to do it.
Yeah, okay.
Whenever he does do it, he's very aggressive about it, though.
Oh, that's another problem, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, my cat is also aggressive because cats legally aren't protected under ADA. So I like to say he's trained as a service animal. And whenever my blood sugar's low, he likes to smack my face. I did not teach him to do that.
Oh, that's very interesting because my first cat was like that with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
When she would start going into a diabetic reaction, then the cat would jump up on her and, hey, wake up, stay awake.
So maybe it's a cat thing. Maybe that's just, it might just be a cat thing then.
I imagine they probably smell the difference in the scent in the body odor.
And they like to smack, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I currently have 2 scratches on my temple because he accidentally smacked too hard because I was asleep. So he probably gently smacked a few times, you know, but I didn't wake up. And the next thing I know, I'm getting scratched and clawed at. He probably thought I was ignoring him, and it probably ticked him off.
Yeah, he's probably worried. Wait, you're supposed to be. You need to wake up, and there's an emergency. Come on, wake up.
Like, you need to eat. I kind of don't want a dead Quint.
Yeah.
So he'll get mad if he thinks I'm ignoring him, which I find adorable. He's like, I am the one in charge.
Well, of course, he's a cat.
Yeah.
We all need to learn our place, and it's, not on the level with cats.
Yeah, there was one time during his training, he doesn't do this anymore, as while he's being trained, I was blatantly ignoring him because part of training is teaching them, like, if I don't hear them or feel them or something, they got to know what to do. And so I was ignoring him as part of training, and I just was focused on the computer, ignoring him, and he peed on the keyboard.
That's why the keyboard is so
I told
sticky.
you that, and I cleaned it multiple times too. So he got so ticked at me that he peed on the keyboard because I was ignoring him. And that's such a cat thing to do. I've never had a dog do something like that.
Got your attention, though.
It did. Yes, it did. Not in the way he wanted, but it got my attention.
Yeah, when I did pet sitting for my uncle, he took care of his dog, and the dog would get so excited he'd pee on the floor.
Oh, Tyr does that. We have 3-week-old kittens, for those of you who don't know. And he'll do that when the kittens come up to him. The other day, the orange one, Simba, was rubbing up against his paw, and he got so excited he accidentally peed on him.
You're excitable here.
He is very excitable.
Ridiculous.
You could tell he was really trying, like, not to like happy stomp too. It was very adorable. Didn't like that I had to give Simba a bath though.
Oh, I'm sure Simba liked it the least.
Oh, he was meowing like I was murdering him, and of course Mama heard that, and Mama got mad at me and was slashing at my legs the entire time. So that was fun.
So what have you been painting this whole time?
I can show you. It's a little messy because I'm not quite done. I'm waiting for it to dry. There we go.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, I have an Etsy where it's mostly queer-related art, if you can't tell from the trans flag.
Yeah.
And I just got a really big order. I'm not trying to sound ungrateful, but it's a really big order. It's going to be very hard to fulfill.
What do you think, Lucy?
Lucy's helping me.
I can good help her.
When I'm painting, usually if Ben's not over here, she'll sit on my feet and keep my feet warm while I'm painting. Very big help.
Yeah, Alex refuses to do socks with sandals, so.
I refuse to wear socks. I hate socks. I hate shoes. The first time I wore shoes that actually fit me, because I was neglected as a child, it was when I was 18 and Ben bought me a new pair of shoes. And you should have seen, you know, dogs, how they walk around when you put boots on them for the first time? Where they like lift their, yeah, that was me.
I thought it was funny.
I wanted to cry. Did not like it. And then, like a week later, I found out I was autistic, and it all made sense.
Oh, okay, that does make sense. Yeah.
I feel like socks and shoes and stuff, like it's like a prison for your feet, if that makes sense. So I always wear sandals, even if it's blizzarding outside. I will wear sandals. Oh, mommy, you pooped out babies a few weeks ago, didn't you? Yeah, we keep telling Mama and the babies that they were all pooped out. Pooped out.
Ah.
You're a pretty girl, aren't you? Yes, you are.
Only one of her babies actually looks like a Siamese. Because there's one that looks like an orange tabby, and then there's two black ones that have very subtle stripes. I wonder if the dad was orange or not.
I mean, pretty much has to be.
Yeah. We got a little crackhead out of it.
Genetics are fun. Right, Lucy?
Heck.
One of my cats was very interesting. He was gray. He had kind of the tabby stripes, but he had blue eyes. So he had to be part Siamese by looks of his eyes and facial structure. But he was the only one that looked that way in the litter.
Yeah, there's only one orange one in this litter. The rest are mostly black or all black. And it's very interesting how genetics works.
Actually, bring them over one at a time.
Do you want to see them? Benjamin wants to bring them over, unless they're napping.
Yeah, sure. Well, since I'm in my garden channel mode here, your cats are a good addition to the garden.
Yeah.
Except for when they dig up your plants and decide to use your garden as a toilet.
Hey, they are allowed to do that. It's their garden. It's not yours. It's theirs.
But they help with pest problems.
Yeah.
Very good at that.
Our cats are terrible at that. They'll just bat the mice around. Like, they won't, like, eat them or kill them or anything. They'll just play with them and let them go.
Yeah, my first cat, we had a mouse problem in the house, and she'd catch the mouse, kill it, and then she'd gently pick it up by the tail, bring it over to her food bowl, and put it in the food bowl.
Yeah.
And boy, was she mad when my mom threw away her mouse.
Yeah, I mean, if she's going to go through all the work of catching it. Oh, look at the bye-byes. Which one's that? Oh, that is Panther. I see your fat little butt. Panther is the biggest. Yeah, he is the biggest. And then the other black cat, Shadow's the smallest.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for him to start yelling.
Yeah, my little gray cat with the blue eyes was named Josh, and he was the runt of the litter too. and he ended up being a very big cat.
Yeah. So far, all of our runts, I swear they're not just runts. Like, I think they should probably get tested for some genetic issue because they are so small. Like Cracker, Ben's cat's last litter, she had 2 litters with us. Because the one litter, both times she got pregnant, we had a vet appointment set up. But by the time the vet appointment came around, the babies, she got pregnant and she was too far along to legally abort or like safely abort. I don't know. I don't really understand. Yeah.
Probably safely.
Yeah. So we kind of had to have the litters both times because timing didn't work out. But her last litter, the kittens are 6 months old and they look like the size of 3 months olds and they're done growing. So like I think we got to get them tested. That's the crackhead.
That one's named Cracker. Okay.
Yeah. His name's Simba. Can you guess why?
Simba. Oh.
Believe it or not, these black spots here next to his eye, not eye boogies.
Yeah, at first when I thought he was first born, I was like, wow, you were born with eye boogies. No, and the older he gets, the bigger and darker the spots on his nose because he has a small one by his nostril too, and his head gets.
Huh. Interesting.
Is awesome. He's my favorite.
Yes. Thank you for bringing cute little kittens to my first stream.
There are 2 more. I am really happy. Mama's litter was very hard. She had 16 kittens in total, and only 4 of them weren't stillborns. But the 4 that did survive, they're healthy. They are very healthy. Even the runt is only like 2 grams behind what he should be, so he's not wildly small or anything. Okay. So at least the remaining babies, like they're probably gonna make it,
That's good.
We gotta wipe his little butt.
One of our cats, the one that I said looks most like a Siamese, his name is Gramps because he has an old man face. He keeps pooping on his tail.
I'm guessing that's Gramps right there.
Yeah, this one right here. He keeps pooping on his tail, and then he'll get mad at me when I go to clean up. Look at that old face.
Oh.
You're a little pooper, aren't you?
Yeah, 2 of them were while they slept.
Yeah, I got pooped on last night. I just got pooped on again. Can you bring me a wipe, please?
Yeah.
Mama likes to bring the kitties to me while, thank you, my love. While I'm sleeping. I almost smushed them last night, so I got kind of mad at her for doing it. Oh. But, and they decided to crawl on my chest and take tiny little poops on my chest while I was pooping. But I can't be mad at them because they're tiny,
Yeah, they're only babies.
Yeah, they don't understand. I gotta wipe your butt. Come here. I know. But he has poop all over his tail. I clean him like every hour, I swear. And he just keeps pooping all over his little tail.
That's when you wipe too.
You're pooping on yourself too. Wait, what is this? They started pooping early too. I know it's something really weird to be happy about, but that shows that they're developing well,
Yeah. Yeah, when I had my gray cat with the blue eyes, when I first tried to litter train him, he actually sat in the litter, didn't know what it was, and tried to eating the litter.
That's what this one, Gramps, did the other day. They're just now starting to be able to run, and he was sprinting over to the litter box because his mama was using it, and he wanted to know what mama was doing, and she didn't fully cover up her poop, so his response was to lick it. He was so taken aback that he went from like this to up and just did like a 180. Where's your poop? Oh, there's your poop. They have not learned how to use the litter box yet, though.
Yeah, they still seem pretty young for that. I mean, they're probably getting close, though.
Old. Look at this. This one's Shadow. This one's the runt. He's tiny. He's still very healthy for a runt, though.
Come on, you.
I'm gonna eat you. Okay, that is the last one.
Okay.
I mean, it's not our last cat, but it's baby. I just remembered something that went down yesterday. Can I vent for a split second?
Oh, sure.
So I had guinea pigs that I took in from my sister that the entire point of them was to rehome them. She just didn't know like how to do it, and I've been rehoming and rescuing animals for like 3 years now. So the entire point of taking them in was to rehome them. And these girls took them, and I didn't charge them or anything either because I knew that like if I kept the guinea pigs long term, this isn't the environment to raise guinea pigs in, you know?
Yeah.
And they messaged me yesterday, and they said that they reported me to animal control because apparently I'm neglecting my animals based off of zero evidence. They said that I never fed the guinea pigs, even though I have messages saying, you know, I fed them blueberries today. I fed them, you know, I'd given them updates on what the animals were trying and stuff. And they threatened me, saying that they have my address and they can show up at any moment, told me to effing kill myself. And I found out this morning that they doxed me. They posted my number, legal name, and address on a bunch of Facebook groups. All because they say that I'm neglecting my animals purely because we had a homeless scare. And mind you, the second I thought I was going to be homeless, I started rehoming all of the animals, you know, because that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And apparently that was illegal for me to do. Yeah, that's what they were saying. They were saying that that was animal neglect. Me doing the right thing that is legally encouraged to do. You know, if you can't take care of animals, I even called the Humane Society, but they were full. You know, so what else am I going to do other than rehome them myself? And they were trying to say that, like, me giving the guinea pigs away is proof of me neglecting my animals. Not to mention that, like, guinea pigs are a lot harder to care for than dogs and cats, mind you. Just because I couldn't care for 4 guinea pigs doesn't mean I can't care for a few cats and a few dogs. You know? But I had to block, like, 10 different accounts because I kept blocking them. They kept making new accounts. They called me like 10, 15 different times. It was absurd. So sorry to vent, but the kittens kind of made me think of that. And it's like
I usually find that the guinea pigs actually much easier to take care of. In fact, I used to breed them.
Mm-hmm. I did when I was a kid too, but I find them harder because you have to clean their cages every day, especially if you have 4 of them. Guinea pigs poop a lot.
Yeah, in fact, their poop actually can work as another garden fertilizer.
Yeah, while we had them, I was selling guinea pig poop for fertilizer. So yeah, I make decent money off of it too. I mean, with 4 guinea pigs, you're gonna. But yeah, I found it harder just because of the maintenance and the cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the wrong thing for me to have done is knowing I couldn't care for them and keeping them. Like that would have been neglect, you know?
Yeah.
And to dox me, like, what the hell? I just...
No, you're doing the right thing. And if you felt like you couldn't take care of them or you're going to end up homeless, yeah.
Yeah. And we are still rehoming animals too. Like we have too many cats, especially since we're trying to move to Germany. That wasn't the plan when we took in the animals. You know, our plans changed. I didn't know that was going to happen when we took in the animals. You know,
how's your GoFundMe for getting the plane ticket going?
We've raised a few $100s already, and then we have a live stream. I don't think we have a date and time yet, but we're working on getting people for the live. It's one of the 24-hour fundraiser things. So I think it's gone pretty well considering that we've barely advertised it. I just keep forgetting to.
All right.
But
let's see.
It happens.
Yeah.
Well, here I'll post the link in the chat here.
Can you send?
GoFundMe.
Yeah.
There.
I mean, I'm gonna have to send you the tweet because I don't have the actual link on my phone.
I just got it right there.
Oh, you got it?
Sweet.
Okay, that works. Thank you. I really appreciate that. But so far, I mean, I think we're. Last I checked, we were at least 100, and then I've seen a few emails that I just I didn't really look at, so I don't know the amount that was sent to me, but I know there was like 4 or 5 different emails saying that we got a few other donations. So
yeah,
we're doing pretty decent, I think.
Good.
I mean, with any amount of luck, we'll be able to get Alex a plane ticket and out of the country in the next possibly couple of weeks.
I'm really hoping, yeah. I've been speaking to they're an immigration advisor, but they're the same people that'll help with like refugees and stuff. And he said, so you have to prove that you are under attack, like you're not safe, especially since America doesn't usually have people leaving as refugees. You know, like I'm going to be the first trans person to leave as a specifically political refugee from America. So I need to prove that like it's an issue. And they said that I have 3 times the amount of proof that is like required. So I think I'm good.
I have tried to impress that they're good, but
my anxiety still says that there's a chance I'm going to be turned down, even though everybody's telling me that there's like no chance. Even the professionals, like the advisor and stuff, they keep telling me like you're not going to get turned down. But I have anxiety, so good luck convincing me of that.
I can understand that.
Especially since I think part of the anxiety is the fear of having to come back, especially after making a big deal out of it, you know?
Yeah.
It is a big deal, though, you know? But, I'm scared that I'm going to have to come back.
I think I'd be on pins and needles if I were in your position.
Oh, yeah, my anxiety has been absolutely skyrocketed. Granted, I do clinically have anxiety on top of, like, anyone would be anxious in this situation.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So do I. So I like you said, I am right there with you. Yeah.
It's nerve-wracking, and I'm kind of tired of it. But the only way to make it stop is to get to Germany. You know, well, not even Germany specific. Plan A is Germany, but I do have several other countries that I've done research into. So I have backup plans. I'm smart enough to do that.
Well, maybe once you're there, I'll have to do a video on German gardening.
Love it. My German gardening is going to be of the fun pot variety. So yeah, because you can have 5 plants, I think, in Germany if you have a license for it, and it's not going to be hard for me to get a license for it. With all my health issues. So I'm planning on making a bunch of videos.
I would love to be able to grow that here, but unfortunately, we've got a government who's dead set against having it illegal.
Yeah. I think there's only like 2 states that you can legally own like a few actual plants of. Yeah. I could be wrong, but I only know of 2 states. Of course, California is one of them.
That's actually something I might consider doing if it became legal, to commercially grow it. Yeah. You can't sell it in Germany. I think that's a different license. But I'm okay with having 5 plants to myself. I'm okay with that. Yeah. This order is 3 paintings, and what I did with the first one I showed you is that one was already pre-made. I just kind of changed the colors a little bit, less work, you know. And I'm trying to think if I want to do that with this one too, instead of actually doing the work. I might as well use what I already got. My brain's fried, and I don't know what I want to do.
And I'm pretty convinced that we're both burned out pretty badly. His motivation's been difficult. Yeah, the only reason I'm getting any work done, I don't really do YouTube much anymore. I want to, but it's a little bit harder than, say, TikTok. But for TikTok, the only posts I've been making are posts about the research I'm doing for Germany, because I figured I have to do it. You know, no other content is being put up though, because I have 0 motivation. I don't know how people do it. I mean, I've lost track of how to be motivated.
I found out a few weeks ago that there are actually people that wow, this is going to show how depressed I am. They wake up and they look forward to the day, and they had motivation just every day. Every day they're motivated. And I cannot fathom every day being productive. It would be great, but like, I refuse to believe that those people exist. I refuse to believe it.
Well, something I usually do is just keep myself motivated for my garden. I'll pick one task to do. It doesn't have to be a big task, like maybe I'll just want to break down on a branch I had laying around out there, and I'll do that one task. So at least I'm accomplishing something. And then if I find I have more energy to do more, I can go do more.
Yeah,
if not,
that
then
makes sense. Start with something small.
Yeah, and if not, then at least I've done that one thing. I can say I've accomplished something, even if I don't have any real energy.
Yeah, something I started doing is I have really bad ADHD on top of being autistic. So like doing chores, for example, is very hard to do. So what I started doing is I know I'm going to get distracted in the middle of a task. So I give myself one thing to do and I keep going back to it. So if I get distracted, it's like I got to go back to it. And then that's all I'm doing for the day. Because with doing one chore, since I get distracted, I end up doing like 20 chores. Gotta work with it.
Well, yeah, that's a good way of going about it. Yeah.
There's a husky puppy.
Yeah, I just backed up into the husky.
A nap.
He has been doing very well with the kittens lately. It's not really something that I like to talk about a lot, but he did fatally harm 2 kittens previously, and the owners didn't tell us. The people who gave him to us didn't tell us that he was violent with small animals, so we weren't prepared. Like, I specifically asked, and they say, no, nothing's happened before. And then once he hurt 2 kittens of previous litters, I reached out to them, and they're like, oh, yeah, he killed a ferret and a kitten before.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, they just blatantly lied to me, so I didn't think that I had to do anything beyond the basic precautions, And it was... But he's doing really well with this litter because he has a trainer. I'm also learning to train on top of that too. And he is also on medication for aggression. And he's been doing so much better. Like I told you earlier, when the cat was rubbing up on his leg, he got excited. He didn't get violent. That is very big for him,
Yeah.
But he's been doing very well with them so far.
Yeah, I'm not sure how my mom pulled it off, but when he had a small animal, she'd introduce it to the other animals and say, "This is a baby," and she'd pet it, and the animals would understand, and not to, that's not something to attack.
We've been doing that with him too. We'll hold with a hand on his head in case he tries to do anything. We'll hold the kitten up to him, let him sniff it, pet it a little bit, and then he's been starting to lick them and bath them and stuff. So he's starting to understand that you don't hurt small animals. I have a burning passion of hatred for his previous owners for not, because I taken him in before, we brought in any kittens or anything, But the good news is he's doing much better. We still don't trust him alone with them though, hence kennel, I don't think I ever will trust him alone with the cats.
I mean, the grown cats maybe, but
yeah, well, because they can fight back. But 3-week-old kittens.
Yeah, that's a bite-sized morsel.
Yeah, for a husky, that literally is a bite size. He could just put them in his mouth and just swallow them. Not actually, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it makes me anxious.
And accidents happen.
Yeah.
He wants to play with them, and oops. Yeah.
I think that's what he mainly does. I don't think he's actively trying to eat them. I think he starts playing with them, and then he gets too rough, and then they're babies, they can't handle a lot. Because whenever he plays with them, he paws them and pushes down on them, which he does that with Lucy, the black lab, too. So I know he's just playing. It's just he doesn't understand that they're fragile little things. But he's getting better, and he deserves to be praised for getting better. He's getting better. It had to trick him into taking his meds for a few weeks now.
What's he getting medicine for?
Huh?
What's he getting medicine for?
Aggression, and then he also has back pain, which the vet thinks adds to his aggression, because I know I get pretty aggressive whenever I'm in pain. Like, that's a pretty natural response. But he gets aggressive, and he's on anxiety medication for it, and then he's also on antidepressants, and then the back pain meds. And he's been really good with taking them. My elderly dog used to do really well. Now I have to trick her into it because now she's learned. It may have taken her a decade. She learned what's in the cheese.
Well, just remember not to use. There are a lot of peanut butters that are not good for dogs to use.
Yes, yeah. I forget what the ingredient is. I think it starts with like an X or a Z.
Yeah, it starts with an X,
Yeah.
but it's pronounced with a Z. Is that Xylid or something like that?
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Yeah, we only that forget that there's an ingredient in most peanut butters, so we only have peanut butter in the house that doesn't have that ingredient, just so I don't accidentally forget.
Oh, that's a good move.
Yeah, I know my ADHD well enough. I have forgotten before. Hell, I've forgotten that dogs can't have chocolate before. We fixed it, it ended up well, but I have legit forgotten that because I don't think about it. I'm eating and I hand them a bite of something, so I have to make sure that most of what I'm eating are dog safe stuff because I know I'll forget.
Yeah.
You want to say hello?
Do you want to say hi to everyone, Tier?
Come here. Come here. Up. Can you do up? No. You gotta do uppy goes the puppy.
You gotta get him?
Do up goes the puppy.
Oh!
Doggos. Hello, doggo.
Asking question. He is smelly and needs a bath today.
He disagrees.
Uh-oh.
You should have seen his pupils. Not happy about that word being said around you, are you?
No, of course not. The dog I used to have was not happy about baths either.
Yeah. My dog Lucy, she will think she's being sneaky and she'll slowly inch her way to the edge of the tub, but she's too old to be able to hop over the tub. She'll still try. Like, she delusionally thinks that she can get out of it. And it's the cutest thing. Hi.
I would take my dog outside into the carport and wash her off with a hose in a bucket.
I kissed you. What you gotta say about that? My dog's he's fine with the hose. He likes the cold water. He's a husky, But my lab is she's old and she doesn't regulate temperature the way she used to be able to. So we don't get hot water in our hose. I don't know if that's something that some people get. I've never literally had that.
I've never seen that.
Well, I'm sure there's some rich, fancy people that have like specialized things. Screw them.
Yeah.
But she can't get the cold water, even if it's a really nice day out. She has to be inside with the hot water, or she'll be shivering, and then I feel bad. You're a poopy, aren't you?
Oh, heck.
Are you a hecker?
No bamboozles.
What if I want a bamboozle? What if I want a bamboozle? I legit do not know how some people just don't have pets and they're okay with it.
Well, some people just aren't compatible with pets, I guess.
I see that as a red flag. I do. I'm sorry, but I do. Because if you don't like animals, what am I going to do with you? Like, you come to my house, there's a million animals.
Yeah, my house used to be referred to as the zoo.
That's what my house was growing up, because my papa, I would visit him, and there was a time period where I was living with him, but he lived on a reservation. So their laws, from my understanding, it varies reservation to reservation, but their laws on like what animals you can and cannot own with or without permits is a little different. So he had raccoons, he had ducklings, he had so many dogs, so many cats, he had deer for like he kept deers the way you would horses, and they were spoiled. Don't get me wrong, like they were cared for. But he had animals that you wouldn't think of. I remember having a family of skunks. Like so that was us growing up. We were the zoo.
Yeah.
But hey,
my mom apparently,
no.
yeah, my mom apparently had a pet skunk before I was born.
Mm-hmm. I love them. I mean, obviously you got to get them de-stunked, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, or they'll spray you. But if you get that taken care of, they're just like cats. Same thing with raccoons. They have a lot more crackhead energy, but think orange cat.
They're related to ferrets as well.
Yeah.
Ferrets and skunks are related.
This thing wants a ferret, but he's not okay with having a raccoon or a skunk. Explain it.
You want to get at least 2 ferrets if you're going to get a ferret.
Yes, yeah, they're really social. They're like guinea pigs in that sense. But
Yeah.
he wants ferrets, but I'm insane for wanting skunks and raccoons.
Yes.
Yeah. I used to have a ferret, and she'd run up behind the cats and jump on their back and ride them around like a bucking bronco.
I love it so much. We had a girl and a boy ferret that were siblings. And the boy ferret, I later found out it was a thing of dominance, will grab her by the necks and just drag her around. And she would just go limp and just be like, okay, this is a thing. It's happening. Apparently that's very normal. It's a dominance thing. I freaked out the first time I saw that.
Yeah, the one I had used to grab my mom's slippers and hide them.
I love it. We have a cat. His cat, actually, anything shiny that is not put away, she will stash. And I'll just find random stashes of shiny metal stuff, or like I have rocks that she likes to bat around and then put in her stash. She's a little goblin.
Your wedding or your engagement ring too.
She keeps stealing my engagement ring. The other day she was clawing at I was wearing the ring and she was clawing at it to the extent where I had to take it off, and I was joking. I'm like, is this what you want? And she ripped it out of my hand and ran off. I haven't seen it since. So she's a little goblin.
She just knows what she wants.
Yes, she wants to marry Dad, which is really weird.
Shiny.
Yes. But we have the joke where she wants to marry Dad and get rid of me, and that's why she steals the engagement ring from me. She's going to replace me. Got to sleep with one eye open.
One of my cats said my mom was dating this guy and had false teeth, and my cat got a hold of his false teeth and was running around. It looked like he had a big human grin on her face.
I love it.
Lucy. What is she, girl?
I'm getting tired.
I was thinking about wrapping this up pretty soon here, so.
That works then. I always get tired around this time of day. I have like no energy anymore. But
so anything you want to plug while you're here since you came in?
You first.
Okay, so my main thing would be my TikTok, and then like in my bio is all my other stuff. So I'll just plug in the TikTok. Then it's the trans autistic with the, what do they call
Underscores.
it? Underscores as spaces. No caps.
Mm.
I don't know if that was understandable.
Of course, some Gen Z out there is like, no cap. I didn't think you were lying.
Yeah, I don't understand what that is. Like, I understand it's like their way of saying that you're lying or you're not lying, but like, why cap? I'm saying this as someone who is Gen Z too. I don't understand why they say that. It's annoying.
Should be an etymologist, then you might understand.
What's an etymologist?
Someone who studies the history of language and the origin of words.
Ew. I mean, I'm sure it's needed. That's just not what I want to do.
I have a couple of females above, which is, kind of what I'm going by here right now, and a casual beer drinker where I drink beer and review it, let you know how the buzz feels.
There you go. There's something to finish off on gardens with. Hops.
Actually, yes. Hops are incredibly important.
When we get to Germany, he's planning on becoming a brewmaster.
Oh, nice.
Well, and then, studying to be.
Yeah. And then I'm going to be working at a brothel, so he's getting a career going, and I'm over here like, hey.
All right. Well, if I have anyone left in the side chat here, thank you for showing up, and thank you for stopping in. So you have somebody to talk to for the second half of my stream. And I guess I'll end this now.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thank you for being on. And broadcast.